Zayla, and today I wanted to react to some scary TikToks. These TikToks are, closer to what's happening right now in our reality. I mean, some of them may be a little bit from 2025, but 2025 was just like last week, so it makes sense. There are a lot of crazy things that has been happening, and I wanted to catch up. So why not? See what's up first. This one's by Jake Knows Nothing. Okay.
Ancient Egyptian pharaohs consistently astral projected, and this worked so well for me that it is kind of insane more people aren't trying this. The first step is to lay completely flat on your back, arms at your sides with your palms facing down, and have your knees bent upwards, almost like the shape of a pyramid. While you are in this position with your eyes closed, do your best to visualize the pyramids of Egypt with as much vivid detail and color as you can possibly muster. And while you are doing those two things, you need to repeat a very specific mantra that sounds like this. The trick is to keep repeating this mantra over and over again to lull yourself to sleep, and at some point in the night, you will find yourself out of your body. If you're looking for even more tips on astral projection or guidance with this specific meditation, I highly recommend checking out this channel. And based on all of my research into this method, it seems to have its roots heavily in Gnosticism, and whether or not it was used in ancient Egypt is up for debate. All I know is the very first time I tried this method, I woke up to find myself out of body, hovering over the pyramids in Egypt. And allegedly, you can use this method to kind of astral travel wherever you want to go. So if you give this a shot, let me know how it works for you. This may have been
American living abroad here. For anybody who wants to know, for no particular reason, but if you decide that you want to live in another country, you got to get all your documentation, your paperwork, passport, birth certificate. But what a lot of people don't tell you is that, especially if you're an American, your birth certificate needs to have an apostille stamp on it. It is not on there automatically. You have to go get it for, I believe, the Secretary of State's office in whatever state it is that you're from. So you might want to go do that.
An apostille stamp? What is an apostille stamp? I'm guessing it's some kind of official thing saying that you've been cleared to leave the state or the country or whatever. I'm not sure. But that sounds pretty significant, if I will.
I don't know how to explain the things that I keep experiencing, but I'm going to do my best to give you the details. Now, I know some of you are going to believe me, some of you aren't. I'm okay with that. But last night, I decided to take my mom up to Mount Charleston. Now, Mount Charleston is a place in Las Vegas that's about an hour and 20 minutes outside of the city lights. So we're at the top of the mountain. Now, we're looking around, we're having a great time, and now my mom is talking about everything interdimensional and all those types of things. So she's like, look at that star and tell me if you see those things moving around it. So I look at the star and I see what she's looking at, and I kid you not. So imagine this is the star. Now, all of a sudden, there are multiple things that look like stars around this one star, but then they all start moving away and comes back. And then goes around. Now, this is happening in multiple areas all throughout the sky directly above us. Now, me being the person that I am who does believe in extraterrestrial existence, I started giving her all the reasons of what it could logically be, to the point where my logic didn't make sense anymore because what I was looking at made no sense. Now, the amount of things just flying all throughout the sky. So finally I was like, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to accept what we're seeing is what we're seeing. Now, like when you live close to an airport and you can see one plane coming in one at a time, just in a row, that is what we started seeing at the top of the mountain. Mind you, nowhere close to an airport whatsoever. It was literally like one light would come in a row and then it would zip off. And then immediately 3 seconds later, another one would follow and zip off. And that kept where I literally had to just admit what I'm seeing has to be otherworldly. Now, have you experienced anything like this? Because it was mind-blowing to me, but I wanted to share that story with you guys because I'm still processing what I saw, but I have to believe that what I saw was aliens. I don't know how to explain the things.
Okay, So there is a thing that has happened to me when I was young. I was what, like, I was probably 8, somewhere around there. I had just gotten my first iPod Touch, and at least I've had it by at least a month or two by that point. So me and my sister were playing dolls. My mom came in. My mom had came into our house, and she said, okay, she was like angry because we didn't take out the trash. She's like, okay, you guys didn't take out the trash? Fine, I'm gonna do it. And it was like, what, 6 p.m.? So, we just continued playing dolls, and then I started getting mad at my sister. Remember, I was getting mad because she didn't want to play anymore, and I was just like, oh my god, why did you want to play anymore? And I was throwing the dolls, and I was being, a bratty kid, you know? Normal. And then, my mom had already walked out with the trash. She was going into the back to go throw it away, right? Normal stuff. Then she came running back in, and she didn't have the trash in her hands anymore, so I'm guessing she already had thrown it out. But she came running back in, and me and my sister were still sitting there, and I was still being all, whoa. And then I was like, "What's happening? Like, why are you freaking out, ma?" And I remember at the time that me and my sis, beforehand we were recording like little audios of ourselves, like pretending we were doing podcast or whatever for our dolls. So that's what I was using my iPod Touch for. That's why I remember having that at the time. Um, and then my mom came in, and she was like, guys, you have to come in here. You have to come out. Check this out right quick. Come on, come follow me before it leaves. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It leaves. So me and my sister were like freaked out, so we ran after her. Um, we ran out there and looked. We had to go like from the front of the house to the side of the house to the back of the house. That's where the trashes were. Um, inside of our duplex. And then we looked up at the sky, and she was just pointing. She was like, look at that. And I'm like, what? And I immediately saw what she was talking about. By golly, in the middle of Stockton, in the middle of the hood, might I add, was an alien ship. It looked like a freaking. It looked like a. Not a triangle, but like a spherical thing. It was spherical, but kind of triangle shaped. And it had so many lights. Okay, there were so many lights, and a lot of them were like different colors. It was like purple and pink and yellow, and it was. I just was like, whoa! Immediately enthralled by that because that's beautiful, right? And then my sister and me and my mom was just kind of all standing there inside of this line in the middle of the night, basically, just only ones outside screaming and like just staring in awe, like, whoa, the heck is that thing? And it was just sitting there. It wasn't moving around, it wasn't going anywhere, it was just sitting still in the air, right up there. And I was like, I'm gonna go grab my iPod Touch so I can record it. So I ran in right quick, grabbed it, and then came back out, and then hit record on it. But it's a crappy iPod Touch, especially for the generation that it was at the time. Like, it just looked like a little light in the sky. Like, it didn't look that good. But I was still trying to capture it because that's the only technology I had at the time, and phones and stuff didn't have them yet. Everything was brand new. Um, this is I'm talking like 2007 or 2008. I don't know, somewhere around there. Probably even later than that. Probably 2010. Yeah, somewhere around there. Um, but yeah, we were freaking out, just standing there like, oh my gosh, what is that thing? And then it finally started moving, and when it took off, it went so fast I could not keep up with my eyes. It was just like 1 second it was there, and then boom, it was there the next, and then it went boom, and then it went to the net, and the boom, 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 boom. It was just started going so fast, and then it went slow, like a normal airplane. And then me and mom and my sis were just like, "Wow, you seeing this? What the heck? Why is it going so fast? Like I can't keep up with it. Where did it go?" I'm like screaming at each other, and then it just stops going super fast. It goes up to a cloud. This night it was super cloudy, but also incredibly dark. It was confusing. Um, it went up to a cloud, and then I saw this beam of light kind of come from the ship. It hit the cloud, and then the cloud opened. And when the cloud opened, it looked like I was looking into the prettiest black hole I've ever seen in my life. It was like I was looking into the universe itself or something. It was pretty. It was so beautiful. There were so many lights. It looked cosmic. Um, it went through there, and then it shut. And I tried to capture as much of it on my little crappy iPod Touch at the time, but you know, I'm not sure I even captured half of it. I probably captured most of our reactions more than anything, but and like a light in the sky. But my memory will serve more than that because I will never forget that day. That was crazy. And then I will never forget like it opening up the sky and going into it and then shutting the sky because what in the like what? I that was the only time I've ever seen. Well, recently I've seen things I think are UAPs, but back then that was the only time I seen something so crazy like alien-esque. And I guess it makes sense because, young me and my sister and my friends were just constantly watching alien videos and freaking each other out. We did that every single day. We'd just go inside of my friend's house, and then she had like a window that was half broken. This is weird. It was a window that was half broken. We'd watch alien videos, then we'd all freak out. They're all like 7 of us. We'd all freak out and run out of the broken window outside and scream. And we did that throughout the entire day until like 9 p.m. and then we'd go home. And then I would just remember like aliens. They're scary looking, gray, big old heads and big eyes, and they can break in your house and eat you. I don't know. I was thinking kid thoughts. Who knows? Maybe they do eat you. And then that happened. So, yeah. Pretty interesting stuff. I've seen some recent UAPs, but nothing that's moved quite like that, and it looked like that. I've seen like those floaters, it looks kind of like a balloon, but it's not, and it goes down toward the ground and then it goes up, and it's really slow. Or I've seen like those black dots, and I've seen 2 of them just kind of sitting there. Here in this apartment. So, yeah, I've seen some stuff, but that one, since we all were witnessing it at the same time, I felt less crazy. And my little iPod Touch, I've been trying to get it. I've been trying to remember the password for almost 13 years, and I've been trying to get it to work ever since. That was the last time I remember it actually working. So, yeah, long story. But seen something kind of similar. It's not like stars or anything, but I thought it was a star at first because, I was a kid, so I was like, why is that star plane like so weird looking? Oh, I guess. Okay, whatever. Next.
Everyone needs to get ready because the newest update about Atlas 3I changes everything. Scientists and NASA were already really concerned about this strange behavior, but now over the weekend, with the Gemini telescope, they took photos of Atlas 3I next to the sun. You know what they saw?
What?
They saw it shooting a jet stream into the sun. This comment that people keep calling a comment, or there's nothing to worry about here, there's nothing to see. Obviously there is, because scientists that work for Harvard, NASA, and China are reporting that this is concerning. We have a rogue comet that is shooting some kind of jet stream of material or matter into our
sun.
Like, this is huge. People need to realize how big of a deal this is. They already said 40% probability it's not natural. It means it's made by an intelligent life form. 40% chance, and now it's shooting a jet into our sun. We're going to get more updates. Everyone needs to get ready.
It's a large amount of percentage. 40% is pretty high when you're thinking about things. that is 70% left off. That is pretty big, yeah. Mm. I don't know if it is actually like an alien, or if like an alien spacecraft or something that's building a bunch of aliens, or if it's just like an asteroid, like a comet or something. Who knows? I mean, what if it is an asteroid or something, and there's just like some kind of chemical reacting to the sun itself, and it's just blasting into it, and we think that it's shooting rays, but it's actually just some kind of chemical being pulled from the asteroid into the sun. That's my weird little guess. I am not an astrophysicist or whatever the word is for that. Astronomer, astrologer, whatever. I'm none of that. So.
It's brand new. It just dropped. Space Tracker released a set of deep zoom images of 3i Atlas, and they are honestly very strange. Now, to start, these aren't single photos. They're 20-minute stacked exposures from an observer named Diego San Arrojo. Hopefully I said that right. But Space Tracker stabilized the frames, zoomed in 4,000%. They removed noise, corrected color, and averaged everything together. When you stack frames over 20 minutes, you reveal structures that are completely invisible in a single snapshot. And what it shows is a 4-point star, basically star-shaped loop.
This giant, sorry. The giant pause button in the middle is not helping, but dang, I wanted to see it. That is interesting looking. Looks like an amoeba. Some kind of cell? It looks like a cell, maybe? I'm sure if I were up close, I'd say it looks like an arena, but looks like it's giant, for sure. Like, that is huge. It has to be massive. Like, I just realized it's kind of given those colors I literally just said it, that I seen in that first alien craft. Yellow, purple, and pink. That's really unique, though. It looks... There's so many things that this thing looks like.
Luminous core surrounded by kind of a plasma-like haze. The symmetry is unusual, and
these little buffers are obnoxious.
No obvious tail direction in this averaged composite, even though we know that the object has both dust and ion jets. So here's where the conversation gets a little interesting, and I'm going to call this kind of the woo-woo section. But it's worth talking about because, well, you'll see why. Just last week, Medium published an article called 3i Atlas Complex Jet Structured Angles Revealed. And in it, they traced out the potential jet geometry. The outline they mapped actually resembles a figure from a medieval artwork, specifically one of the little crafts in the fresco of the Crucifixion of Christ. People have also taken it a step further. Some are saying that this new 4,000% deep zoom image looks like Ezekiel's wheel from biblical descriptions. Again, these are visual parallels, not literal interpretations, but humans do
Ezekiel's will. Gotta look that one up. Ezekiel's will. And, okay. Wow.
to old imagery to make sense of them. But I get why these comparisons are circulating. I mean, the symmetry does look unusual. But let's talk about a more grounded explanation, perhaps. If 3i Atlas is spinning, its jets sweep around almost like a sprinkler. And when you average that motion over 20 minutes, it creates a 360-degree symmetric pattern, basically a star-like glow. And honestly, these processed images do support some of the theories scientists have suggested. All of this is consistent with an object not behaving like a typical solar system comet. That is for sure. I'll link the Space Tracker's full analysis below so you can take a look at all the frames yourself. But give me your opinion. Are these shapes just rotation artifacts, or do you think that there's something genuinely unusual going on with 3i Atlas's inner structure? Let me know what you think.
Wow, if that isn't just something. That is unique. Those are really beautiful images, though. I don't know. That definitely doesn't look like it could be an asteroid. Though I haven't been looking at asteroids and what they look like when you take really great pictures of them inside of outer space. So maybe it does look like an asteroid and I just don't know. But to me, looks like some kind of weird spacecraft cell looking thing. Looks like a cell.
This 3i Atlas is still doing its thing. And this is its anti-tail. The one facing the sun, it is defying all the laws of physics still. And I don't think this is an alien ship. I don't think this is a comet. I think this is a piece of plasma from the center of the galaxy, where they say it's from, that is communicating with our sun, that is magnetized to our sun as it travels through our solar system, and it is being pulled, and that little piece of plasma in there is frequency of creation.
Whoa. Frequency of creation. That is so cool. I'm sorry.
It's shifting everything right now, if you can't tell, if you can't feel that. But 3i...
Been able to feel something weird recently. I don't know what's going on, but I feel... I don't know. There's a lot happening here, especially since, like, December of 2025. Like, it's just been hyperactive. I'm talking energy-wise. I'm not even talking about the actual things that are happening inside our political systems. I mean, just like, wow, what's going on with our energy? The world's energy, the nature, everything's been... It feels different. And I can't even explain why, but I know something's shifting. So maybe this has something to do with it, you know. That is a guess. We do not know.
Atlas is still going. It's headed towards Jupiter. So 3i Atlas is going to be right next to Jupiter around Easter, and we are currently, with that anti-tail, getting hit, I believe, with plasma from 3i Atlas. This frequency is hitting us, and it is everything that isn't authentic, anything that doesn't resonate with that that creator frequency, that original frequency.
Oh my gosh, the buffers.
It's falling apart in
My
us.
Wi-Fi is butt, isn't it?
Falling apart. It's falling apart in us. It's falling apart in society. It's falling apart in our country, and we're living through it right now. That's what I think it is. I'm not good at like explaining this stuff, but that's truly what I think is happening. It's setting our frequency back to normal, kind of, but everything has to fall, and that includes even within. That's why the energies are getting so crazy right now, I think. You guys,
There's one thing I always loved. It's chaos, but with like some kind of stability to it. You know, there's something within the chaos that you can find, you can grasp onto, if that makes any sense. And I always loved that. Living through all the random crap that I've lived through, I know that there are moments when chaos happens, and then within that chaotic moment, there is a moment of peace and tranquility, and it's kind of weird, actually, when you think about it. Because why is that? What is that doing in there? And that is what I thrive on. I thrive on that energy. I love it. So, I've been feeling incredibly driven to be more of myself, more creative, more in that mode. If you know anything about me, I'm ADHD 1000%. Like, I got plans on plans on plans, and a bunch of like things happening all at the same time. It's kind of insane, and that creator energy is what I've been feeling. Yeah, just thought it was only me though. Didn't know it was everybody. It's crazy. Well, hopefully everybody else is feeling that creator energy too. All right, so this is where I'm gonna call it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All right, yeah. If you have any recommendations for me, leave them in the side of the comments. So what you think of this video? Have you experienced anything weird like this stuff? Any aliens like in the sky just going really quickly, or like those weird like floating bag things that they look like bags but they're so reflective and odd and they float really slow, or like the ones that are like kind of like dots. They're like black stagnant dots, they don't move. Have you experienced any of those? Have you had any like actual experience with aliens where they're like the big, the gray headed ones with like the big eyes, or um anything? If so, leave it in the comments. I'm down to read you guys' weird stories. I love that kind of stuff. I am so into stories. Alright. Yeah, I think it's everything. Alright. Bye.